What you will be witnessing now is a classic example of a top secret discussion of the ruling party contesting for the next election campaign in India. They don't seem to be going by any fair means by the looks of it, and our freelance investigators somehow tapped into their calls to uncover this plan.
1 hour later.
Okay, so to sum up the entire idea, here is that we shall be campaigning and improving the visibility of our party through tweets and gather as many retweets and views as possible. This should be the primary goal of our plan. The summary of the entire plan will be once more told by Aditya. Aditya, if you may.
Yeah, so firstly, we're going to launch a search for prospective Twitterati's who is leaning to a party and shall do a complete scan on the list of people who shall support our ideals. Elections are coming up in less than a month, as we all know. It is highly desirable we get a good digital platform coverage for a campaign, and Twitter is no better place for it. I shall forward the list of WhatsApp group made by Asha, and we shall forward a broadcast message to them. They being our ardent supporters shall do their job of spreading the information. So Asha, you will be in charge for screening the accounts and collect their WhatsApp details and form a group.
Yes, we shall go ahead with that as planned. Bismi will assist me in forwarding the messages, and we need to phrase it in such a lucrative and a sensible fashion so that it doesn't look deceptive or purely for creating that purpose, camping purpose. After all, it's elections. No one knows who sends what, so we can send anything that uplifts our image.
See, we have our own IT cells and departments, so who shall remove any tweets that goes against ours? So nothing is to worry about that.
Everyone, this shall work as planned, okay? We will bring our own subsequent terms into the office. You don't worry.
Also make sure that the media doesn't get any information regarding this, especially the groups and the forward messages. Only the most trusted people should be in the plan of action. Last thing we need is the public airing of all this so that it is kept highly discreet.
Yeah, let's do this, guys.
Well, when Thomas Carlyle said that media is the fourth pillar of democracy, he probably didn't see this coming. Media has always shaped public discourse. It has been the source of legitimate information for the common man who needs such information to differentiate right and wrong, especially when such differentiation plays an important part in choosing the leaders of his country. But today is an age where even legitimacy can be manipulated. What we hear is what people want us to hear. Propaganda machines have been made out of not just traditional media platforms but also social media platforms. Let's analyze how our political representatives twist narratives, propagate hate, and vandalize democracy by jeopardizing the independence of media.
Firstly, we need to delve into why the independence of the media is imperative to the functioning of the democracy. The press is an entity that seeks to promote government transparency, accountability, and raise public attention to maladministration in the form of corruption, human rights abuses, and policy failures. Access to such journalism empowers citizens to make informed decisions while electing their representatives, thus strengthening democracy. So, what happens when the media, a citizen's instrument of holding the powerful accountable, is controlled by the powerful themselves? In the context of India, it is not uncommon for the independence of the press to be jeopardized by crony capitalism, an economic system wherein business success is a result of a nexus between capitalists and political class. Political control over the press can happen in two ways: connections between media owners and politicians, and direct political funding for advertisements in the media. In a study by the Media Ownership Monitor India, it was found that at least 10 media owners have direct or indirect links with politics, while some of them even represent a political party. The study also stated that between media owners, the ones that have political linkage control a sizable share of readership or viewership.
What is even dangerous is the direct violation of press freedom by the government. It is relevant here to note that the freedom of speech and expression is recognized as a fundamental right by the Constitution under Article 19. On March 6, 2020, as Kerala's Media One viewers watched the latest news, the screen suddenly dissolved to show a no signal message. What the audience thought was a technical difficulty turned out to be a government order to block the channel for 48 hours because it had covered February's biggest news story: the mob attacks on Muslims in New Delhi that fled into broader unrest, in a way that seemed, quote, critical towards Delhi police and RSS, unquote, according to the order. Such a blatant attempt to control media coverage by the central government itself is an unequivocal challenge against the independence of the media. Enter social media, and twisting public narrative is made several times easier. Unlike traditional media, social media consists of platforms that empower anyone to weigh in on a political conversation. There is no mechanism that verifies information that goes through these platforms. Coupled with the fact that information spreads incredibly fast, it enables the political class to weaponize misinformation. When somebody like Amit Malviya, the national president of BJP's IT cell, tweets that anti-CAA protesters in Lucknow chanted "Pakistan Zindabad," not many would think twice before believing this claim, especially since he has a blue tick next to his name. This is merely one among his countless tweets that have been proven to be absolutely baseless. This is one account. When approached for comment about an allegation by a study that stated that the BJP used at least 18,000 Twitter accounts to spread misinformation, an IT spokesperson of the party said, quote, "It is not possible to give an exact number of volunteers with Twitter accounts. We focused on a positive campaign, and there is little the organization can do about what volunteers do in their personal capacity," unquote. If this is not an example of a political party washing their hands off of accountability, we don't know what is. It almost sounds like they endorse misinformation. With thousands of such accounts working for the various political parties, and with the not so independent traditional media, it's a Herculean task to segregate misinformation from legitimate information.
Misinformation is deadly, but is only so because we give it power over us. As long as we continue to believe everything we see, crony capitalism, misinformation, and press control will continue to take a toll on our democracy. Public funded independent news media and evidence based fact checking websites are some of the ways the common man can verify information. Beyond this, it is up to the political representatives to take accountability for the information put out by their own men, even in personal capacity. It will definitely require a radical change in political will for the injustice to the integrity of media to end.